the House from both government and opposition to look into the whole matter, including conflicting statements made by various protagonists.
Mr. Speaker, sir, as the House is aware, the setting up of a select committee is the prerogative of the National Assembly. The procedure for the setting up of a select committee, which comprises members of the National Assembly, is provided for under Standing Order 70 of the Standing Orders and Rules of the National Assembly. As a matter of fact, Standing Order 70 makes the following provisions, inter alia, for the setting up of select committees other than sessional select committees, and I quote, "A select committee other than a sessional select committee shall be appointed by resolution of the Assembly on a motion made and shall consist of such members as may be nominated by the Speaker. Such committee may be ordered by the Assembly to consider or take evidence upon any bill or matter and to report their opinion for the information and assistance of the Assembly. Every select committee shall make a report to the Assembly upon matters referred to them before the end of the session in which the committee was appointed. But if a committee find themselves unable to complete their investigations before the end of the session, they may so report to the Assembly. The report from a select committee shall be presented by its chairperson and shall be laid on the table," unquote. Mr. Speaker, sir, the terms of reference of the select committee shall be those contained in the resolution of the House setting up such a committee. The scope of the inquiry by a select committee is defined by the terms of the order under which the select committee is appointed and may include, and I quote, "power to send for persons, papers, and records, and to appoint such number of specialist advisors thereto, and to make such recommendations as it deems fit," unquote. Mr. Speaker, sir, however, I wish to highlight the fact that Standing Order 7110 also provides as follows, and I quote, "Witnesses shall not answer questions relating to cabinet documents or proceedings, communication between officers and ministers, communication between ministers, material the publication of which may be injurious to national interest, opinion of judicial officers, legal advice to ministers and departments, communication between officers and third parties relating to formulation of policy, and material which by statute is required to be kept secret," unquote. Mr. Speaker, sir, in accordance with Standing Order 7014, the report of a select committee is presented by its chairperson and is laid on the table of the Assembly. After the laying of the report, the mover of the motion may choose to come with another motion on a subsequent date to the effect that the report of the select committee on the subject, which will have been laid on the table of the Assembly, be approved. The motion will be moved and debate will follow thereon, following which a vote will be taken for its adoption by the Assembly. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to refer the Leader of the Opposition to my reply to the private notice question of 5th of July, and more specifically to my reply to parliamentary questions B771 and B775 on 12th of July 2022 regarding the allegations made by Mr. SS, former Chief Executive Officer of Mauritius Telecom. I gave a chronology of the facts leading to the survey mission by the technical team from India at the Bejakote landing station. I highlighted in my reply that the allegations made by Mr. SS were baseless and unsubstantiated, and that I had never given any instructions for the installation of any sniffing equipment, and that the only objective of the survey was in the interest of national security. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also highlighted that since Mr. SS had not reported the matter to the police, despite my invitation to him to do so, I personally gave a statement to the police on 11th of July 2022, which triggered an inquiry into those allegations. It is public knowledge that, following my statement to the police, the former Chief Executive Officer is currently being questioned by the police. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to emphasize that since the very first day in relation to this baseless allegation, I have been consistently saying that the purpose of the visit of the technical team to Bejakote landing station was for a technical survey, and that no equipment has been installed at the landing station to enable sniffing or interception of internet traffic. Thus, there have been no conflicting statements on my side. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members are aware that a report of a select committee can be subject of debate in the National Assembly, but cannot be used to institute any criminal proceedings. In case there is any incriminating evidence against any person in the report, the police will have to start an inquiry afresh on the matter and call for evidence. Mr. Speaker, sir, I repeat that the allegations of Mr. SS are indeed baseless and gratuitous and reveal ulterior motives. As I stated in the National Assembly last Tuesday, the false statement, declaration, and publication of Mr. SS have caused and are causing irreparable prejudice to Mauritius, the government, my office, and my person as Prime Minister. Since this represents a grave risk to national security, I have deemed it my duty to report the matter to the police myself. Mr. Speaker, sir, since police inquiry has already started and is ongoing, the setting up of a parallel exercise to consider or take evidence by a select committee is indeed, I repeat, not only superfluous, but also totally unjustified. Mr. Speaker, sir, the opposition has a sinister agenda, which is to poison the minds of the people through baseless allegations, insinuations, and deliberate mudslinging, targeting government institutions, and myself also. We are not going to give way to the hysteria of this opposition, which is causing much harm to our country and to our economy. I have always acted in the best interests of the Republic of Mauritius and will continue to do so.
Mr. Speaker, let me just say firstly that nobody believes that there will be an independent police inquiry. Everybody knows that it is just a farce. This is why, and because it is causing irreparable damage to the reputation of Mauritius, in Mauritius and overseas. Just see what the South African ambassador said yesterday. This is why I'm giving the opportunity to the Prime Minister to appoint a select committee. We can fine-tune the rules of the National Assembly as every other country has done in the Commonwealth. That's not the issue. The idea is that we have senior members ex-members of government here in the opposition, who I'm sure can be more trusted than some police officer, and I'm offering the Prime Minister the chance to come clean and clear his own name, if that is possible. And that is what I'm saying. Why don't you accept a balanced select committee to clear your name and to clear the reputation of Mauritius?
May I know from the Honourable Leader of the Opposition what Her Excellency, the High Commissioner of South Africa, has said in relation to this case?
I refer you to the défi of this morning. I'm not going to read the paper for you. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to ask the Prime Minister.
May I reply?
Yes.
May I reply? No. Yeah, if you... No, but if you...
I'm asking the Prime Minister whether he's aware, and he has quoted ad nauseum the fact that the ex-CEO of the MT, Mauritius Telecom, knew from 21st October onwards of the survey. Now I have his letter here, which he gave to the CCID, and there is no reference there at all. No reference there at all to any survey. Neither does the letter of 22nd of December. So how, in what way, when you are quoting from 21st of October onwards, that Mr. SS was aware that you wanted the survey? This is not corroborated by the letters that were issued by your office.
Mr. Speaker, sir, let me again say, before I reply to this question, I'm not going to find out what Her Excellency, the South African High Commissioner, has said from a newspaper, either when he comes to this assembly. If he's a serious leader of the opposition, he states exactly what the High Commissioner has said, and don't refer me to some other publication. But I'm sure he cannot say anything. He's just bluffing and saying, and in fact using a diplomatic person, a High Commissioner of South Africa, to put and to try to make people believe that she has said something which is not really correct. Tell us what she has said yourself. Now, secondly, I reply to your question. Well, let me answer. Let me answer. You are not even able to say anything what she has said. You're just bluffing. You're just bluffing. Now, let me say, Mr. Speaker, sir, I maintain what I have said, that since the 21st, at least, since the 21st of October, Mr. SS was aware that a survey was going to be carried out. There are witnesses, there is evidence, but this testimony will be forwarded, of course, will be taken by the police. And then you will see.
First thing, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister should know that his arrogance doesn't impress me at all. Drop it. The second thing, Mr. Speaker, letters do not corroborate what Mr. SS has been very precise in what he said up to now. The Prime Minister has been flu. The letters do not corroborate what he has said. Similarly, Mr. Speaker, when he spoke last week, he said that on the 22nd of December, a reminder was sent to Mr. SS because he had not responded at all to your first letter, your officer's first letter of 21st of October. Does he know, Mr. Speaker, that Mr. SS met the Secretary to Cabinet 3 days after the issue of that letter of 21st October to tell him about the real qualms that he had concerning the security, this time real security issues, with giving this sort of information that was requested in the letter, which, as I said, there was no mention of survey, not even anywhere the word survey, neither in the letter of 21st or 22nd or in the questionnaire that is attached to that letter.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Leader of the Opposition is saying my statements or whatever I am giving whatever I have stated, either in this house or outside this house, are flu, right? Flu. Here comes somebody who makes allegations, very serious allegations, against my person, against the security division of my ministry. And first of all, he doesn't go to the police himself. He doesn't make any declaration. And rightly so. Question was asked by Honorable Eshan Juman and Honorable Asia Baden, asking whether I have reported the matter. He should have reported. He doesn't report. Somebody is committing something which is illegally, committing a very serious offense. He doesn't go to the police. I invited him to go to the police. He doesn't go. I had to report the matter to the police. And thereafter, as I say, because of this, the way that Mr. SS has been making allegations, and now they are new ally, the opposition new ally, though also themselves making all sorts of allegations. He was supposed, in reply to what I said, he was supposed, through one of his porte-parole, he was supposed to go again on radio to expose. I was told tsunami is coming, Mr. Speaker, sir. I was told tsunami is coming. And I was waiting for tsunami. It was meant to be on a Friday, 8th July. It was announced on the 5th of July that, irrebuttable evidence will be made public on the 5th of July by his porte-parole. On the 8th of July, Friday, we waited. I don't know whether the leader of the opposition also waited. Nothing happened. He absconded. He didn't go on for the radio interview. I think he had to review his notes.
You don't have the
He had to get prepared. Then tsunami was announced for Tuesday, the 12th of July, on the very day that I was answering questions with regard to Mr. SS in this house. So he waited. Good enough. I am happy that he waited for my answers so that he can get prepared and, he will wave a tsunami against me, against my government. Everybody waited. We listened. I didn't listen to him, but so many people, including members of the opposition, listened to him. And at the end of the radio program, when I was reading the comments, la montagne, just to sum up, la montagne a accouché d'une souris. La montagne a accouché de l'air. Même pas une souris, de l'air. There was nothing. In fact, well, I don't want to mention names. Some members of the opposition also told me, well, nous sommes sur notre attente, sur notre faim. Nous n'avons rien entendu. This is the kind of person, they are, well, ils sont en train de monter Kadadac pour le moment. But let me tell you one thing, let me tell this house one thing. There will come a time where they will not want to be the jockey, they will want to kill the horse himself. I'm saying it before this house. And the population, the country will see. But anyway, talking about survey, nowhere has it been mentioned that there will be carried out a survey mission. The letter of the 12th of April mentions of a survey mission. I am maintaining survey mission. The purpose of that mission was communicated to Mr. SS well before. And on the 12th, by a letter from the security division of my ministry, it was communicated to him again that we are asking for access to the Beja-Côté landing station to carry out a survey mission. Now, if he was not, well, Mr. Speaker, let me answer. This is a serious matter. Mais hello. When you ask question, I don't stop you, though.
Order.
Because
Both sides of the House, order. Order.
I'm not shouting because you don't hear, that's why.
Continue.
So I was saying, Mr. Speaker, sir, on the 12th of April, if he was not agreeable to the survey mission to be carried out, he stays in office. He stays in office, and I've listened to his justification why he stays in office. He stays in office to collect evidence.
You don't have the floor.
To collect evidence. It's as if somebody is going to commit a murder. He allows the person to commit the murder. He gathers the evidence and he says, yeah, you see now, there's an offense that has been committed. What people will see at the end of the day, what nonsense this is all about.
Speaker, the letter of 12th April is a fake. It is not a genuine letter. I'm informed that there's no recollection of this letter anywhere else apart from the PMO. But that is for him to prove, and this is why I'm asking for a select committee, because he has to prove all these things. I'm saying also, Mr. Speaker, I'm asking also to the Prime Minister this question concerning this famous report, which has conveniently been leaked in all the papers, of the CTO, which is dated the 2nd of July. 2 months or so after the Baie de Jacotay intervention. Was this letter written at the PMO? And did the CTO, because he's still around, did the CTO sign this under duress after having been given various options of letter? Straight question, answer it by a straight answer.
I wish that the honorable leader of the opposition repeats what he has said. If he is a serious leader of the opposition, he repeats that outside the House, not under parliamentary immunity, and then I will deal with him. Coming to this House and saying all sorts of nonsense. Mr. Speaker, sir, I hope Mr. SS, in his statement that he's giving now, I hope he says that this is a fake letter. I hope he says that it is a fake letter, one. And secondly, I hope he says that there is duress with regard to whatever letter this CTO has written. And then if you have the courage, you go outside and then you repeat what you say.
If you have the courage, Prime Minister, appoint a select committee. We don't need anything else from you. We don't need anything else from you. Appoint only a select committee, change the rules if necessary, and we will vote for them. Why are you hiding? Why are you afraid of the truth? This is Parliament. I don't need to go on the street. I'm asking you the questions in Parliament. That is my right. And it is your duty to answer in truth about what is being said. Mr. Speaker,
yes,
I'm going to ask about this famous...
No,
I'm going to ask about this famous letter...
I know the answer.
Honorable Leader of the Opposition, you're out of order, please. You put a question, you made a statement, the Prime Minister wants to reply. Allow him. Allow him. I am allowing him to reply.
I am not afraid of you, though. You, your party, your alliance making blasphemous.
Order. Order. Both sides of the House, order. Prime Minister and Leader of the Opposition, I need silence to conduct business. No cross-talking. Now it's your turn to...
I have to answer. Yes.
To reply.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am not afraid neither of this leader of the opposition, nor of this l'Alliance de l'Espoir, nor of any member of that l'Alliance de l'Espoir, whom we can see their behavior, the way they are denigrating. They are denigrating people who are performing prayers at Grand Bassin in a sacred moment. Hein? Ça, c'est l'Alliance.
Order, please. Order. Continue with your reply.
I am not afraid.
Order. I am on my feet. Order.
And because I am not afraid, that is why I have given a statement to the police. I have given a statement to the police for the police to inquire, and this is going, at the end of the day, when the inquiry is going to be completed, the matter will be referred to the DPP for the DPP to take a stand. Instead of, as I say, instead of wasting time, we will have a select committee. As I say, what is going to be the ultimate objective of the select committee? After a report would have been drafted, there would have been a report. The report would be laid on the table of this National Assembly. There's going to be debate on that. All blah, 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 blah again. We are not going to have another show. That show, I can tell you, that show will not last for very long.
Mr. Speaker, Prime Minister wants us to believe that the CCID, headed by someone on contract that he has himself recruited, he has himself renewed the contract, is going to inquire, investigate his own actions. Nobody in Mauritius believes that. Now I'm going to ask the Prime Minister this question. The famous CTO report, you have not replied, whether it was done at the PMO or not. Perhaps you will reply later. This famous CTO report of 22nd of July, which apparently was written at the PMO, this one. There was a previous one by the manager there, Mr. GM, who is in fact a specialist of cables, etc. Now, Mr. GM apparently has submitted a report very close to 15th April. And there, he has actually told the whole truth of what happened at Baie des Jacques. So, given that you have now leaked the CTO report of 2nd of July, will you now accept to publish the previous technical reports issued by people who attended that exercise? That's the question.
You are, again, leader of the opposition is only, up to my knowledge, is making only frivolous allegations that supposedly there's a report of 15th of April. Where's the report? Where's it? There's no report. You want me to produce something which doesn't exist? Huh? Where's your report? Where is your report? What is in the report? Tell us. Then I will answer you. You come and say there's a report.
Are you in a position to table the report? Are you in a position to table the report you mentioned?
This is why I'm asking for a select committee, because there are so many conflicting reports.
Order! 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 Order, leader of the opposition. My question is, and very simple, you mentioned a report. Are you in a position to table the report?
If I was in a position to table the report, I would be called Mr. Sherry Singh. I leave it to him to do his job. I've answered you. I've answered.
The question is simple, requires a simple answer, either yes or no.
You ask me a question.
No, I am the speaker.
Who are you?
I am the speaker. No, I am the speaker. So I take it you don't have any report to table. And that goes in hand out.
This is Prime Minister's question time. This is not Leader of the Opposition question time. Now, let's go on. Mr. Speaker, I want to know from the Prime Minister. See, you're getting me angry for nothing. All I wanted is a select committee. You're getting me angry for nothing. It doesn't work, arrogance and all that doesn't work with me. Now, Mr. Speaker, I want to know from the Prime Minister, he has etc. here. There was apparently a problem with national security. It's what you have said. You have not told us what it is. You have not told this House. Did you inform Cabinet, the supreme instance power taking in Mauritius? Did you inform Cabinet of the problem that was there and your decision to call in, apparently, whether it was your decision or it was somebody else's decision to ask you that? Did you inform Cabinet, and on what date did you inform Cabinet, please?
Position has been a previous minister and has been a member of cabinet, knows fully well that matters that are discussed in cabinet cannot be
You don't have, why are you bullying the Prime Minister?
Would the Prime Minister...
You don't have the floor.
Would the Prime Minister be surprised to hear from me that
You
cabinet
don't have the
members
floor.
here
Don't
are
bully
saying
members.
that they are not at all aware of anything, any decision that you've taken with regard to the landing station at Bejakote? Would you be surprised to hear that from me?
I told you cabinet matters are not divulged publicly in this house. So, allez, passe to avocat.
Time over. We move to the Prime Minister's question time. The table has been advised that PQ B884 and B899 will be replied by the Honourable Prime Minister, time permitting. Honourable Lutin.
B856.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the current National Security Advisor, Mr. Kumarisan Ilango, holds degrees of Bachelor of Laws and of Masters of Science in Chemistry. He has served the India Police Service, has also served at high level in the field of security, including research and analysis. With regard to Part B of the question, I am tabling the terms and conditions of his appointment. It is to be emphasized that the post of National Security Advisor is covered by the Pay Research Bureau.
54 years after independence, we still don't have a Mauritian as National Security Advisor. May I know from the Honourable Prime Minister, how was Mr. K.I. selected? Was it the Prime Minister's choice? Did the Prime Minister carry out a due diligence on Mr. K.I. before he was appointed as National Security Advisor?
Well, he was appointed after we had made a request to the government of India, and there was a recommendation, and as a result of that, he was appointed the National Security Advisor.
Is the Honourable Prime Minister aware that Mr. Ilango was India's spy agency RAW station chief in Sri Lanka, and that he had to be recalled because allegedly he was accused of engineering a political combination against the party in power? It's all over the internet. Was he aware that this Mr. Ilango was accused of interference in domestic political matters in Sri Lanka?
I'm not aware of that. If the Honourable Member has any proof of that, if he can lay it before the National Assembly so that I can take cognizance.
Table copies of press articles.
Yeah, let me have, before I can reply, may I have a look at this press article, please?
Internet. You just have to click his name on the internet, all will come up. May I know from the Honourable Prime Minister whether it is this Mr. Ilango who had advised him to order the CEO of Mauritius Telecom to allow foreigners access to the safe cable landing station at Bejakote without any judge's order?
Well, Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a police inquiry which is underway. This matter, of course, will be dealt with by the police inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, could the Honourable Prime Minister tell us whether this is the very same National Security Advisor that led and headed a mission in Maldives in March of this year, where one of the issues that was discussed was precisely cybersecurity for the nation? Is it the same Mr. Ilango?
Well, I need notice of the question. This is a specific question with relation to supposedly a meeting that was held in Maldives. So if I need, and I can just, I had a quick look at the documents that have been tabled. This is not proof that there has been what the Honourable Member is alleging. These are just supposedly press statements. Now, press statements, they can publish anything they want. This is not proof. I can come with other press statements also to show certain things with regard to members of the opposition. So then you will say, well, does this proof? This is not proof. I return this to...
So, and since we are talking about national security issues, and there are allegations of the current person have been involved in Sri Lanka in political activities, will the Honourable Prime Minister take it up with the Indian authorities and verify whether these information that are freely circulated on the internet are accurate or not?
Well, this matter, when I saw it, what all these publications on the newspaper, even here, you know, in Mauritius, you're just tabling whatever newspaper from abroad. Let me say one thing. I see Le Défi Quotidien had published since Friday, 3rd of September 2021, le PMO recrute Ilango comme National Security Advisor. Well, I see at the one paragraph before last, what they themselves say. Cependant, ces accusations sont restées des rumeurs jusqu'à présent. This is the press. This is the press, what they are saying. So rester des rumeurs. So des rumeurs. If I have to, you know, if I have to sit down and look at all the rumors that is being published every day, apart from the rubbish of the opposition, but all the rumors that are being published, but my whole time will be just to look at those rumors and try to clarify and this and that. I have more important matters to look at, and I'm, Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm concentrating myself on the work that we have to do to build, to make this country, in spite of the major challenges that we are facing, to move ahead and to progress.
Thank
you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Can the Honorable Prime Minister state whether there is any reason not to appoint an Indian national as the National Security Advisor in Mauritius?
Well, Mr. Speaker, sir, as I say, the Honorable Utim is saying 54 years of independence, we are still appointing an Indian as National Security Advisor. Well, why? Why don't we appoint a Mauritian? So why don't we appoint an Indian security advisor? Why is it? What have you got against India? Huh? What have you got against? Regularly you are having.
Order!
So as I say,
Order!
there cannot be any reason not to appoint an Indian national or any, and for that matter, any other national security advisor, except when there are proven facts that are based on due diligence. We have conducted the due diligence, and there's nothing against him, as I say. You know, it is, as I say, it is regretful that some people, you know, in the opposition, they are indulging themselves in systematic India bashing to pursue their sinister agenda. Well, they will have to bear their responsibilities in the way that they act disrespectful comments.
Order!
And unacceptable,
Order!
I would say unacceptable attitude towards India.
B857, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the Commission of Inquiry on the violation of the Constitution and any other laws by Dr. BAFGF, CGSK, former President of the Republic, was set up on 16th of May 2018 by the then acting President of the Republic, pursuant to Section 2 of the Commissions of Inquiry Act. The composition of the Commission of Inquiry is as follows. The Chairperson, Honorable Ashraf Ali Konai, former Chief Justice. The Commissioners, Honorable Mrs. Nirmala Devat, Senior Pune Judge, and Honorable Mrs. Gayatri Jagesar Mana, Pune Judge. The Secretary of the Commission is Mrs. Premila Sinatambi Gopinath, Principal Court Officer. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed that on 27th of June 2018, the Commission issued a press communiqué inviting the public to make submissions to the Commission by end of July 2018. After completing its preparatory and preliminary works, the Commission started its hearings on 6th of August 2018 and not on 14th August 2018 as wrongly stated by the Honourable Member. The last hearing was held on 30th of January 2020. Moreover, the Commission has not completed its assignment on 30th of January 2020 as stated by the Honourable Member in his question. It has only completed its hearing on the 30th of January. The House will appreciate that there are 3 other important tasks in the terms of reference of the Commission of Inquiry, touching upon fundamental aspects in our Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the Office of the President that the Commission has not submitted its report yet. In regard to the information sought by the Honourable Member as to where matters stand, then the House will appreciate that in view of the nature of its function and the subject of its terms of reference, the Commission of Inquiry is bound to carry out its duties in a totally independent manner. It would not therefore be appropriate for any person or authority to interfere in any manner in the work of the Commission. It is noteworthy that Section 9 of the Commissions of Inquiry Act empowers the commissioners to, and I quote, make such rules for their own guidance and the conduct and management of proceedings before them, and the hours and times and places of their sittings, not inconsistent with the Commission, as they think fit, and may adjourn for such time and to such place as they think fit, subject only to the terms of the Commission, unquote. Moreover, according to Section 7 of the Commissions of Inquiry Act, the Commissioners are required to submit their report to the President of the Republic. Section 7 of the Commissions of Inquiry Act provides as follows, and I quote, 1. The Commissioners shall, after taking of the oath provided under Section 5, make a full, faithful, and impartial inquiry into the matters specified in the Commission, and shall conduct such inquiry in accordance with the directions in the Commission. And 2. The Commissioners shall, in due course, report to the President in writing the result of such inquiry, and where required, shall furnish to the President a full statement of the proceedings of the Commission and of the reasons leading to any conclusion arrived at or reported, unquote. Mr. Speaker, sir, in addition, the Commission issued by the President of the Republic on 16th of May 2018 authorizes the Commissioners to report their proceedings to the President from time to time if they judge it expedient to do so. Mr. Speaker, sir, regarding payment of fees, I am informed that, as at date, no fee has been paid to the Commissioners. Payment of fees to the Commissioners will ultimately be decided upon by the President of the Republic pursuant to Section 16 of the Commissions of Inquiry Act, based on the recommendations of the High-Powered Committee chaired by the Secretary to Cabinet and Head of Civil Service.
Can I ask the Honourable Prime Minister, why is it taking so much time for the report to be published?
Well, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have in my reply, stated that we have no control over the length of time that a commission of inquiry takes. They will have, of course, I have given, I think, sufficient information, and this is all that I can provide to the House. They are independent. They are looking, well, they have listened to evidence. They are going according to the terms of reference of the Commission of Inquiry, and I believe that there is a lot of things that they have to look at before they submit a report. That is all that I can say.
Honorable Prime Minister will surely agree with me that the Commission relates to the image of our country and raise constitutional issues about the head of the state. Does not the Prime Minister press upon to see that the report should be published as soon as possible?
Well, what I can do, Mr. Speaker, sir, is I can take the remarks of honorable members and pass it on to the President of the Republic so that he can transmit those remarks to the chair of the Commission of Inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Can the Honorable Prime Minister state whether he has any power to ask the Commissioner of Inquiry to expedite its duties?
Well, as I said, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have no power to give any directive to a Commission of Inquiry. As I say, let me repeat again, maybe for the House to understand. A Commission of Inquiry is, by the very nature of its functions and the subject of the terms of reference upon which it has been set up to inquire, bound to carry out its duties in a strictly independent manner, free from any interference from any other quarters. And moreover, since the Commission of Inquiry is not part of the executive, nor any emanation of any arm of the executive, it is submitted that it is not accountable in the discharge of its independent functions, not only not to the National Assembly, but to myself.
The table has been advised that PQ B864 has been withdrawn. Next question.
Je retire ma question, Monsieur le Président. Je retire ma question.
Next question.
B859.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the survey carried out at Bejakote landing station by a foreign technical team was in the context of national security. A police inquiry into the matter is underway, and disclosure of any such information pertaining thereto will be prejudicial to the investigation. However, I would like to restate that the Chief Technical Officer of Mauritius Telecom was physically present all throughout the survey, has, in a report, confirmed that no sniffing or other equipment had been installed at Bejakote landing station.
Thank you, Speaker, sir. It's a question of a technical survey. This morning in PNQ, the Honorable Prime Minister has stated that it is causing an irreparable prejudice to the country. And this is what Her Excellency, and Prime Minister had asked a copy for this, Dr. Lamani Nelly Manzini sur le sniffing. Si c'est vrai, nous allons devoir agir. I'm going to table a copy for the Prime Minister to see for himself. Now, being given, can I ask the Honorable Prime Minister whether he's basing himself on the letter that appeared in the press yesterday, dated 2nd July, where the CTO said that there was no sniffing? Because this letter has been written not even on Mauritius Telecom letterhead. It's not even a report. It is a letter addressed to the chairman of the Mauritius Telecom, who is also Secretary to Cabinet. Because this letter is not a report, Prime Minister. And to our information, the first report is available at Prime Minister's office. This is a technical report that we are asking you to make public so that it dissipates all doubt there are in the mind of the people of Mauritius, even the diplomatic corps. This is the report that we are asking you to table once and for all so that we get over with this issue.
I know from the Honourable Member to which report he is referring to, that is at the Prime Minister's office.
Mr. Sherry Singh, the ex-CTO, has gone on air without any parliamentary cover to state that there was a report. So he takes all his responsibility. And in this report, Honourable Prime Minister, which is causing great prejudice to us, it is being stated that there has been capture on the system, and this capture is allowing whoever has access to it to have access to all information of the citizens of Mauritius. Can you please table this report?
But Mr. Speaker, sir, the opposition members, they are so well acquainted. Now they have become like a family with Mr. SS. Well, instead of repeating what Mr. SS is saying, they could have, I'm sure, they must have asked him, well, provide us with your letters, your evidence that you have, so that we can put questions to the Prime Minister in the National Assembly. Where are all those evidence? We are talking about, even he himself has not been able to produce anything at the radio, I call it a radio show. So you are talking about, you're referring to Mr. SS has said this. This is hearsay. If you seek advice, you will know that this is hearsay, unless you have anything. And I can say that all these are rubbish, Mr. Speaker, sir. They are rubbish. But I don't want to go into all the details of what they've been saying. If I have to reply, otherwise, in fact, I should not have mentioned a number of things that I have been made to mention, I must say. I must say it is against my will. But because if I had not given some information, they would have continued with their hysteria, you know. So, but I have to retain myself. So what is this report? Is it, which date at least? Tell me which date it is.
Yeah.
You have a copy
one last question.
Please. You have a copy of that report to table?
I have a question to the Prime Minister. I have another question to the Prime Minister.
You mentioned a report and
For the Prime Minister,
you are in
can
Parliament.
can I ask?
Honourable member.
No, I don't have.
You don't have.
Honourable Prime Minister,
talking about
my last question to you is, do you confirm to the House that there is no other report at the Mauritius Telecom or at the Prime Minister's office, save that letter that appeared in the press yesterday?
I have given a statement to the police. The police will inquire if there is anything that the police finds that we need to clarify. If any report will be produced by Mr. SS. And I must say, all this cinema, all this show, you know what amazes me? At least I thought that, okay, he would not be making public certain evidence that he has. When he started to answer questions at the police, after some time, I saw anyway, I don't know whether I can rely on press report, but I saw one of the media reporting that his counsel has said, il garde le droit de silence. I don't know when he's going to reveal all his proof. Pour le moment, il garde le droit de silence. He's got, and for me, I tell you, for me what it means, droit de silence, he's got nothing. It's a bag of wind.
Next question, Honourable Kirin.
B860, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that following credible information received and in virtue of a search warrant, a team from the Atsu Western Division proceeded on Friday, 13th of May, 2022, at around 11:15 hours to Jacquemin Street, Rochebrune, to search the dwelling of one Mrs. V.A. The Atsu team met with Mrs. V.A. as well as Mr. VAR, who were both in the living room. In the course of the search, a plastic parcel containing about 1 kilo of compressed leaf matter suspected to be cannabis was found. The approximate street value of the drugs secured is 600,000 rupees. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am also informed by the Commissioner of Police that on the same day, at about 14:30 hours, a search was carried out by the ADSU in the dwelling of Mr. VAR at apartment number 1, Soberan Tower, Servier Gilnaz Street, Rosehill. 2 cellophane paper parcels, each containing a certain quantity of leaf matter suspected to be cannabis, and a resealable plastic sachet containing 12 suspected cannabis seeds were secured. Both Mrs. VA and Mr. VAR were arrested on the same day and brought to the ADSU office in Rosehill for inquiry. On Monday, 16th of May 2022, a provisional information were lodged against Mrs. VA and Mr. VAR before the District Court of Rosehill for drug dealing, possession of cannabis for the purpose of selling in breach of sections 31FI and 47(5)A of the Dangerous Drugs Act. They were both remanded to police cell until 20th of May 2022. They appeared before court on 20th of May 2022, 26th of May 2022, and 1st of June 2022. On Wednesday, 1st of June 2022, Mrs. VA was remanded to jail and Mr. VAR was again remanded to police cell. Mr. Speaker, sir, on Monday, 6th of June 2022, Mr. VAR applied for bail before the District Court of Rosehill. On that date, the motion for bail was fixed for hearing on 13th of June 2022. The motion was heard and the ruling was fixed for Thursday, 16th of June 2022. Mr. VAR was released on bail after furnishing a surety of 150,000 rupees and a recognizance of 500,000 rupees. Mrs. VA applied for bail on Saturday, 25th of June 2022 before the Bail and Remand Court and was on 28th of June 2022 granted bail. However, she failed to furnish the required sureties and was maintained in detention. She was subsequently bailed out on 1st of July 2022 after furnishing 2 sureties of 75,000 rupees and a recognizance of 500,000 rupees. In accordance with the conditions of the bail, Mrs. VA and Mr. VAR have to report daily to the nearest police station between 6 o'clock in the morning and 20 o'clock in the evening, and between 6 o'clock in the morning and 21 o'clock in the evening, respectively. I am further informed by the Commissioner of Police that the exhibits have already been analyzed by the Forensic Science Laboratory, and the report was submitted to the ADSU on 21st of June 2022. The inquiry into the case is ongoing.
Premier ministre, peut-il nous dire si les 2 personnes arrêtées ont des antécédents liés au trafic de drogue ou autres, et si oui, de bien vouloir nous donner des détails?
Well, I think it will not be proper for me to give any information on that issue because, as we all know, well, as maybe I will inform the House, that eventually, if there is a case, the case will go before a court, court will hear evidence, and whatever I say now can prejudice the case before the court.
Il a informé qu'une des personnes arrêtées dans cette affaire, nommément Madame Véa, a été l'electoral agent de l'ex-maire de Beaubassin-aux-Îles et candidat de l'Alliance mauricienne aux élections générales de 2019 et fut aussi la constituency clerk d'un ex-ministre du gouvernement MSM de 2014 à 2019.
Well, what I know is that person has been expelled from the party. As soon as they became aware that that person has been involved in certain dealings, they took the decision to expel that person from all the instances of that party. But let me say also, let me remind the honorable member that prior to that, that same person was very close to a former candidate of the PMSD, Mr. GL. So be careful what you say. I have the evidence here.
One last, please. Et dans le cadre de cette enquête, le Premier ministre peut-il nous dire s'il y a d'autres personnes qui ont aussi été arrêtées ou interrogées par la police à ce jour?
Well, no, but look, Mr. Speaker, sir, the question is about two persons named in the question, Mrs. VA and Mr. VA. Now, I don't know, because the police, of course, will certainly not provide me with other information about the inquiry. At any rate, Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm sure the honourable member will appreciate. It will not be proper also for me to give names of people who have been interrogated with regard to this inquiry.
The table has been advised that PQB 867 has been withdrawn. Question addressed to Honourable Ministers. The table has been advised that PQB 881 will be replied by the Honourable Vice Prime Minister, Minister of Local Government and Disaster Risk Management. PQB 868 has been withdrawn. Honourable Wuchit.
B869.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm sorry. With your permission, I shall reply to PQ B869. Mr. Speaker, sir, at present, there is no comprehensive national policy with regard to parking. Actually, there exist two types of parking facilities available for the public, namely the public parking space, which is managed by the government under the Road Traffic Paid Parking Regulation 2002, and secondly, the private parking space, which is managed by private operators. Mr. Speaker, sir, as regard to the public parking space, there are four types of such facilities offered, namely reserved parking bays, which are part of a road dedicated to reserved parking and demarcated as Zone 1 and Zone 2, Zone 1 being in the city center, the cost of which is 50,000 rupees yearly. Zone 2 is away from city center and costs 40,000 using parking coupon with a denomination of 10 rupees in Zone 2 and 20 rupees in Zone 1, being valid for a period of 30 minutes. Delivery bays, which are meant for the parking of light goods vehicle for loading and unloading of goods. This is managed by delivery parking coupons of 10 rupees in Zone 2 and 20 rupees in Zone 1 and valid for a period of 30 minutes. Disabled parking bays, which are free of charge and are painted in blue color. These parking bays are demarcated and maintained by officers of the Traffic Management and Road Safety Unit, the TMRSU. Non-adherence to Road Traffic Paid Parking Regulation 2002 make the offender liable to parking offences. Enforcement in accordance with the Road Traffic Regulation 2004 and the Road Traffic Regulation 2002 are carried out by the traffic wardens of the NLTA and the police. Paid parking checks are undertaken in Port Louis, Roselle, and Curepipe. Crackdown operation are likewise effected in collaboration with the Ministry of Information Technology, Communication and Innovation, has embarked on the implementation of a smart parking system. In addition, the Ministry is presently working on a transport master plan wherein the parking issues and policy to be taken would be looked into. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Is the Minister aware that there are so many accidents related to pedestrians, particularly people on wheelchair or with low visual impairments due to parking on pavement and to side street parking congestion on public roads in most residential areas? And what recent assessment he has made with the Commissioner of Police to prohibit pavement parking?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I was said in my reply, the traffic wardens, the police are looking into crackdown operation that are affected for illegal parking a bit across the island. And there will be the transport master plan that will look into those issues eventually.
Can the Minister inform the House what step his department are taking to ensure all vehicle users have a self-service ticket machine facilities in all towns and cities instead of buying parking tickets in filling station or library?
Mr. Speaker, I've already replied to this also. In fact, we are going a step further. We are not burdening people with ticket machines. These are outdated systems. Now, my good friend, the Honorable Deepak Balgobin, is coming up with a state-of-art technology that will allow you to pay your parking sitting in your office with your phone.
Mr. Speaker, whether there are any plans for construction of multi-level parking facilities due to the increased number of vehicles each year, so as to reduce the on-street parking congestion on public roads?
Mr. Speaker, sir, the Honourable Member will appreciate that I'm not the substantive minister. I'll convey this matter, but I'm not aware this question doesn't pertain to high-rise parking. So if you come with a substantive question, we'll answer.
So the table had been advised that PQB 911, 912, 919, 896, 910, 918, 921, 922 have been withdrawn. Next question.
B870.
Mr. Speaker, sir, since 1st of July 2022, 12 essential products, namely canned fish, canned tomatoes, cheese, edible oil, margarine, milk powder, pulses, pasta, wheat cereal, infant food preparation, baby and adult diapers have been placed under the maximum markup price control with a markup ranging from 20 to 25%. Since coming to force of the markup mechanism, officers of the Consumer Affairs Unit have effected visits in some 392 retail outlets around the island to ensure that maximum approved retail prices of these products are being respected. In case of non-compliance, the traders are contravened in accordance with the prevailing legislations. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm informed that according to the market surveillance as at 14th of July 2022, carried out by the Consumer Affairs Unit, there is no severe shortage of these basic commodities in major sales points around the island. However, some occasional shortfall have been noted for certain types of pulses in certain trade premises. The traders have stated that these products are in high demand. They have already placed their orders and are awaiting new stock. I also wish to point out that the markup imposed on these products have been determined after a detailed analysis of the costing submitted by the respective importers. Mr. Speaker, sir, at this stage, it is not foreseen to review the percentage of markup for these 12 essential commodities.
Will the Minister table the number of suppliers, if he has it, who have not submitted their costing in order to fix the prices of the imported commodities when maximum markup was introduced on items such as lentinois, petit pois, sardines, and so on?
We do have the contravention taken from these suppliers, and I undertake to table same.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. In reference to the maximum markup imposed on these 12 categories of products that the Minister just mentioned, can the Minister inform the House what was the average markup on these very same products? I presume his officers must have surveyed. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, sir, prior to the introduction of the markup and subsidy, not all products in the 7 commodities were under the price control. However, milk powder was being controlled under the maximum recommended price with a maximum markup of 35%. And as regard for edible oil, the maximum markup was around 25%. And for other products, the maximum markup ranged from 25% to 40%.
Is the Minister aware that maximum markup does not de facto control prices of commodities, as importers have an easy backdoor for not submitting their costing to the price-fixing unit of the Ministry of Commerce by paying a meager penalty fee of only 5,000 rupees? Will the Minister consider imposing the concept of maximum price instead of maximum markup in order to protect consumers, especially at a time when Mauritian consumers at large are suffering?
Mr. Speaker, sir, for a moment, we are applying the maximum markup regime, and if the need arises, we will review accordingly.
Will the Minister undertake to have the prices of products under markup, maximum markup, to be published on a daily basis so that consumers can take cognizance of the prices in real time instead of publishing only the maximum markup percentage on the website of Ministry of Commerce?
This can be considered, Mr. Speaker, sir. In any event, the Price Observatory Committee will be finalizing its work, and the application will soon be launched so that consumers across the island knows the different prices that are being practiced by different retail outlets.
Next question, MP.
B871.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Section 114 of the Workers' Rights Act provides, among others, that no person shall harass a worker in the course of his employment. Mr. Speaker, sir, with regard to Part A of the question, on the basis of figures compiled by my ministry for period January 2019 to May 2022, a total number of 218 cases of harassment have been reported to my ministry, involving 162 female and 136 Mauritian workers, male Mauritian workers. As regard to migrant workers, 9 complaints of harassment were reported during the same period. However, I wish to add that 18 other pending cases of harassment as at December 2018 were brought forward in addition to the 218 registered cases. Mr. Speaker, sir, with regard to discrimination, Section 5 of the Workers' Rights Act provides inter alia that no employer shall treat any worker in his employment in a discriminatory manner. Concerning Part B of the question, I am informed that for period January 2019 to May 2022, 26 cases concerning discrimination at work have been reported involving 4 females and 22 males. merchant workers. No complaints of discrimination from migrant workers was reported to my ministry. 2 other pending cases of discrimination at work as at December 2018 were brought forward in addition to the 26 registered cases. Mr. Speaker, sir, as regard to part C of the question, I presume that the honourable member is referring to equal remuneration for work of equal value, as stipulated under Section 26 of the Workers' Rights Act, which provides, inter alia, that every employer shall ensure that remuneration of a worker shall not be less favourable than the remuneration of another worker performing work of equal value. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed that no complaint regarding equal remuneration for work of equal value has been registered at the regional labour offices in respect of both merchant and migrant workers during the above-mentioned period. However, 3 disputes have been reported to the Conciliation and Mediation section of my ministry during the period of January 2019 to May 2022. Mr. Speaker, sir, any worker who considers himself or herself to be a victim of harassment, discrimination, or unequal pay can report a complaint to any of the 17th regional labour offices, and upon receipt of a complaint of harassment, the officers of my ministry investigate the matter to determine whether there is sufficient substance to initiate criminal proceedings. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am further informed that over the period of January 2019 to May 2022, 189 cases of harassment out of a total number of 236 cases and 22 cases of discrimination out of a total of 28 cases have been disposed of at the level of my ministry. In addition, 9 cases of harassment from migrant workers have already been disposed of. With regard to the 3 disputes pertaining to the issue of equal remuneration for work of equal value, the situation is as follows. 1 has been resolved to the satisfaction of the complainant. Another dispute has reached a deadlock and referred to the Commissioner for Conciliation and Mediation by the parties. And the last one, which is still pending, the next conciliation meeting has been scheduled for the 2nd of August 2022. Mr. Speaker, sir, the House may wish to note that there are presently 9 cases of harassment, verbal abuse, falling under Section 114 of the Workers' Rights Act at the level of the prosecution unit, out of which 4 cases have already been lodged before the Industrial Court. 1 case has been struck out as there was no solid ground to sustain criminal proceeding, and 4 cases are being analysed prior to referral to court. Mr. Speaker, sir, my ministry is fully committed to providing all the necessary support to victims of harassment, discrimination, unequal pay at work. Honourable member may wish to note that Mauritius is amongst the first few countries worldwide to ratify the ILO Violence and Harassment Convention 2019, number 190, thereby reiterating our determination to further enhance protection of workers of this country.
Le harcèlement est une offense et une violation des droits humains. J'aimerais demander à l'honorable ministre combien d'employeurs ont été déjà sanctionnés à ce jour sous la section 114.3 du Workers' Rights Act, qui rend les employeurs responsables pour toutes sortes de violences au travail depuis 2019.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I've just given the answer, but I've given the answer as per the question asked, that is for the period of 2019 to 2022.
Et selon la Banque mondiale, entre 2004 et 2015, dans le secteur privé, les femmes étaient rémunérées 30% de moins que les hommes. Et selon Statistics Mauritius, en 2019, le salaire des femmes était en moyenne de 6 000 roupies de moins que les hommes. Malgré la loi déjà existante, d'Equal Remuneration for Work of Equal Value, Les écarts existent toujours. Puis-je demander à l'honorable ministre qu'est-ce qu'il a l'intention de faire pour réduire cet écart?
Mr. Speaker, sir, maybe this was the case prior to the coming into effect of the Workers' Rights Act we ourselves enacted in 2019. As for equal remuneration for equal work of equal value, that is, which is regulated by Section 26 of the Workers' Rights Act, since 2019, there has been no complaint received at the level of my ministry. So this answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Can the Honourable Minister inform the House if, in his answer, in his reply, he mentioned about harassment, if there has been any cases of racial harassment or abuse in the workplace that has been registered?
Well, Mr. Speaker, sir, I've given the figures for harassment in general. If the Honourable Member come with a specification, then I will be able to give the details.
B872, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, as the House is aware, Mauritius will host the 12th edition of the Commission de la Jeunesse et des Sports de l'Océan Indien, CJSOI, Games from 4th to 11th December 2022 for the youth age between 14 to 17 years. The CJSOI Games are considered as a mini Jeux des Îles, and its main objective is to promote exchange and collaboration in the field of youth and sports among the member countries of the CJSOI. I wish to inform the House that the composition of the organizing committee is as follows. President, myself. Vice Presidents, Mr. Ramsamy, Permanent Secretary of my ministry. Mrs. Ashu, DPS, Sports Department. Mrs. Gongu, DPS, Youth Department. Director of the Games, Mr. Pile Samu. Assistant Director of the Games, Mrs. Rikisun. Commissioner of the Games, Mrs. Kadresen. Treasurer, Mrs. Mengro. Secretary, Mr. Ori. As regards Part B of the question, the total estimated cost for the organization of the Games amount to 100 million rupees. A sum of 50 million rupees has been earmarked in the next financial year for costs related to both the organization of the Games and the preparation of athletes. Hotels' accommodation have been identified, taking into account their proximity with the sites of competition. For instance, as the competition for beach handball and yachting will be held at Blue Bay and Maibo, respectively, the participants will stay at Holiday Inn Hotel. Similarly, for competitions to be held at Côte d'Or, Vaqua, Beaubassin, hotels have been identified in the Lower Plaine Williams and in the north. The costs for board and lodging are still being finalized. As regards Part C of the question, I'm pleased to inform the House that the 7 member countries of the CJSOE, namely Comoros, Djibouti, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mayotte, Réunion, and Seychelles, have confirmed the participation in the Games. Around 1,200 athletes, coaches, and officials are expected to participate in 11 sports disciplines and 3 youth activities. As regards Part D of the question, the sports disciplines retained for the Games involving both boys and girls are athletics, including handisports events, beach handball, boxing, futsal, pétanque, table tennis, tennis, swimming, triathlon, weightlifting, and yachting. The youth activities are Assemblée des Jeunes, e-sports competition, and spectacle musical. A majority of the sports competitions, including athletics, futsal, pétanque, swimming, and triathlon, will be held at the Côte d'Or National Sports Complex, while beach handball will be held at Blue Bay Beach Arena. On the other hand, boxing, table tennis, tennis, weightlifting, and yachting will be organized at the National Boxing Center, the National Table Tennis Center, the National Tennis Center, the National Weightlifting Center, and the Maibu Waterfront, respectively. As regards youth activities, esports will be held at the Kodo National Sports Complex. The venues for the Assemblée des Jeunes and the Spectacle Musical are still being finalized. As regards Sport E, other question, I must point out that the preparation of athletes has started since 2 years and is an ongoing process. The federations concerned usually include training camps and competitions in their annual calendar of activities for this age group. Requests for financial assistance from the federations will be considered as and when required and on a case-to-case basis. I'm pleased to inform the House that the launching tomorrow are the mascotte and the chanson des jeux, as well the march past, the jingle and the hymn that will be played during the games. Thank you.
Le fait qu'il n'y a pas eu de compétition durant ces 2 dernières années et que les infrastructures sportives étaient fermées en raison des restrictions sanitaires, l'honorable ministre peut-il nous dire s'il y a eu une évaluation au sein des disciplines retenues pour ces Jeux par rapport aux conditions et le niveau des athlètes, et cela à pratiquement 4 mois des Jeux, et si un plan de travail aussi a été mis en place?
Alors, malgré les restrictions, Monsieur le Président, et à la demande de certaines fédérations pour tenir leur compétition, et je me souviens que nous avons écrit à plusieurs reprises au High Level Committee, qui pendant ces 2 dernières années nous ont donné des dérogations pour autoriser les fédérations qui ont fait leur demande pour leur compétition. Donc, il y a bel et bien eu compétition durant ces dernières années, et les fédérations ont la responsabilité de leurs athlètes, et à l'heure que nous parlons, les fédérations sont prêtes, les athlètes aussi, ils sont en train de parfaire leur préparation pour décembre.
Monsieur le Président, si un exercice d'appel d'offres est prévu avant de finaliser le choix des hôtels, car nous savons, pour les derniers Jeux des îles ici à Maurice, le coût de l'hébergement a été exorbitant.
Monsieur le Président, si on se réfère aux Jeux des îles, exorbitant ou pas, de toute façon, aujourd'hui encore, les différentes îles participantes continuent de féliciter et de remercier Maurice pour la qualité de l'organisation des Jeux des îles. Nous allons appliquer le même principe que pour les Jeux, c'est-à-dire, avant de prendre tel ou tel hôtel, il faut voir le nombre de chambres disponibles, il faut voir le nombre de personnes qu'on peut accommoder par chambre, tout en prenant en considération la situation de la COVID. Il faut prendre en considération les hôtels qui ont des accès pour les personnes ayant un handicap. Et donc, nous ne pouvons pas faire un appel d'offres carré et demander des hôtels par rapport à ces compétitions. Il faut voir, d'après The Supply, ce que les hôtels peuvent nous donner pour pouvoir accommoder. Et donc, c'est le même principe que nous allons appliquer, le même principe que nous avons utilisé pour les Jeux des îles.
Monsieur le Président, comme l'a souligné lui-même l'honorable ministre, dans les estimates du budget 2022-23, une somme de 50 millions a été budgétée pour ces Jeux. De ce fait, l'honorable ministre peut-il nous donner des détails sur la répartition de cette somme par poste de dépenses, si possible?
Non, malheureusement, Monsieur le Président, cette somme de 50 millions et, pardon, comme j'ai dit, les dépenses pour ces Jeux vont nous arriver autour de 100 millions de roupies. Donc, quand nous allons diviser la totalité des sommes que nous avons à dépenser, ce sera basé sur 100 millions et non sur 50 millions. Et là, bien sûr, nous avons commencé un process de sponsorship. Donc, nous avons une équipe qui ont commencé à contacter différents sponsors. Et je dois dire qu'à aujourd'hui, il y a un très, très bon response. Et je remercie ceux qui ont signifié leur intention déjà de sponsoriser les Jeux. Et je lance un appel patriotique aussi à d'autres compagnies privées, para-étatiques, pour venir nous soutenir dans la préparation, dans l'organisation de ces Jeux.
Président. L'honorable ministre peut-il nous dire si les médaillés de ces Jeux seront récompensés financièrement et si oui, de nous donner les détails?
Les médaillés mauriciens.
Oui, bien sûr. Mauricien.
Voilà, pays tout du monde. Alors, le ministère, Monsieur le Président, nous avons des schemes, des reward schemes pour tous les athlètes qui font des performances. Donc, il faut que je vérifie quel est le scheme que nous avons pour les Jeux de la CGSEI, tout en sachant que c'est des Jeux régionaux.
Thank you very much. Suspend the sitting for 1.5 hours.